This is a story of why you should never scorn a woman. We met in November of 2013 at the local Walmart we were both working at the time. I had a crush on her so bad, and she was beautiful. We both just stood there gaping at each other for a moment. She sashayed over to where I was sitting, and we immediately started talking. We lost contact for a while. A bit later, she started working at the other Walmart, and we found each other. It was like we'd never lost contact. We started dating shortly after that. On July 23rd, I took her to the Olive Garden for our first date, because, when you're there, you're family, and it went amazingly well. Afterwards, I took her home, and I made the first move. I kissed her next to my car. It was a little fast, but she didn't mind. The following weekend, I asked her on a second date. We went dancing, and we had a ball. Sorry for the pun. About a year or so later, her cousin's girlfriend called, asking for a ride. We went to pick her up, and when we got there, she changed right in front of us. I couldn't help but stare like an idiot. Later that night, while taking her home, she asked if she could have sex with me. I just stared at my girlfriend. As time went on, I got really distant, and Halloween came along. I met her ex-bully at a party. She wasn't wearing anything appropriate. She was wearing a low-cut corset. I don't know why, but the entire night I followed her like a lost puppy until the bully got sick and weak and left. That night, I was supposed to text my girlfriend until she fell asleep, but undoubtedly I forgot. Later, she accused me of cheating on her, which I immediately said that I wasn't. Things only got worse from there. We started arguing every day. Back in February of that year, I had asked her to marry me. Unfortunately, the following January, we broke up. We were arguing like usual, and we both said some things we shouldn't have. Then she broke up with me. My mother came with me later to go and get my ring back. I asked her for the ring, and then we left. She tried texting me a lot, but I refused to answer. Looking back, I wish I would have answered her. 2 weeks later, I'm with my new girlfriend, and I didn't know they were still friends. In my defense, they argue a lot. I went home early one day because my mom had been sick. I walked in to see her asleep on the couch. When I went to wake her up, she was cold as ice. The doctor said she was poisoned, a slow and painful death. A few days later, we found my youngest brother in his car. He had died by choking to death. It was ruled murder because the big black dildo found in his throat. They found my other brother with his arms and legs cut off. What's fucked up is his genitals were also removed. He died shortly after arriving to the hospital from blood loss. My dad had a massive heart attack when we found our dogs hanging from the ceiling fan by a bra. The fan slowly moved like it was shoving their deaths in our face. My dad unfortunately didn't survive the heart attack, leaving me alone with no family. They caught my ex-girlfriend coming to kill me next. She confessed to everything, grinning sadistically the entire time. It makes me cringe every time I think about it. The court sentenced her to life in a sane asylum. Before taking her away, she swore she would break out and come for me to finish what she'd started. I'm writing this now because I was just informed she just escaped, and I can hear tapping coming from outside my window, and I'm freaking out. Lord help me. Alright guys, well, I'm Mr. Creepy... Well, no, not Mr. Creepypasta, I'm Lord Creepypasta, and this story is been submitted and is partially true. Can you guess which one? And just remember, a bump in the night isn't as always as innocent as it seems.